Fernando Mendoza had his chance to win a week 1 job, and he didn't do enough. Between a pick six, miscommunication with Mike Washington, drops from Malik Benson, and a weak offensive line play, Kirk Cousins is still the guy. But honestly, that's not even my biggest concern. What in the world is going on with the Raiders defense? We asked them to prove it against Houston. They didn't. I'm Eric, the Clueless Sports Dad. That's Raider Greg. Welcome in, Greg. What's up?
Not much. How you doing?
Well, I don't know where to begin with this one, but I guess we could start with offense and then we could dive into the defense because, man, I think this game was a little lackluster at best. I don't know if a single player really took a spot tonight, but let's just go down the list here. Mendoza, I mean, overall, if I had to grade him out of a 10, I'd probably give him a 7. He had some laser throws in there, really timely, good passes. Only really made the one big mistake. You take into account that Benson probably makes both those catches. One could have been, that first one on that out could have been gone for a touchdown, possibly, with his speed. Second one also cost him a first down in a drive killer, basically. And that's the problem with the Raiders in the past, too, is that they've just continued to have these drive killers. Besides that, I mean, it's a rookie mistake. You read that late, throwing over the middle. I mean, we don't know if Washington's supposed to just sit and wait patiently for the ball and basically box out his guy, but he kind of drifts, and they talked about that on the broadcast. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck talked about how he kind of drifted towards the sideline when Mike Washington maybe should have sat down. I don't know. We don't know really the plan there and stuff like that, but they'll get that down. I'm not too worried about the pick six. But then I like the response after. What do you do after? And we already know what Mendoza's capable after he makes a mistake because he did it in college. Yeah, this is the NFL and it ain't the college, but you know what? It's still quarterbacking. You put that stuff in the back of your mind and you move forward, and that's what he did. He came out throwing. At one point, I think they said it. I didn't look it up afterwards, but I think he went like 6 of 8, or no. After that, he went like 6 straight completions or something before the drops started happening. So,
Yeah,
all
totally.
in all, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Mendoza was on point. Mendoza wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
He was putting balls on guys. He was putting it in hands, and specifically Benson, they're dropping it. So, I mean, that's what it is. You had the second string offensive line. You had the second string wide receivers. You had, obviously Washington's a dude, but he's a second string running back. So, I mean, they were doing what they could with what they had out there. But Mendoza isn't the problem. We just don't have a ton of depth. That's just what it is.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing too is like, okay, so I'll get into this right now because we're talking about Mendoza and we're talking about the offense. I was going to wait a little bit later, but let's just jump into it right now. It seemed like this offense tonight, the way the play calling was not, it was completely different, it seemed like, than the way they came out that game against Arizona. It wasn't very many, at least from what I can remember. I mean, there may have been a couple, but not many tight end concepts as far as getting them the ball. And we know with Mayer and Brock Bowers, probably, no, I'm not even going to say probably, it is the best tight end combo in the National Football League. And then you throw in, Ian Thomas, because I really like Ian Thomas. There's just something about him as a vet that just, as a third guy, just getting in there, getting grimy, and then popping out, and he can still catch the ball and make plays. So you have a tight end room that is pretty damn good, one of the top in the league. So with that being said, like, there was just no concepts, it seemed like, from Clint Kubiak for that. It was pretty much turn, give the ball to the running back, maybe do some stretches later in the game. it seemed like they did exactly what I was hoping for, and that was taking more shots deep down the field, and they just weren't there because the wide receivers were not getting separations. And when you're not picking up first downs and you're not scoring, you're not doing what you need to do on the offensive line, you're not going to be able to make plays downfield like that. So is that something you saw too tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously Bowers isn't playing. Myers wasn't playing. It was Ian Thomas versus the world out there. And, it seemed to me like all of the play calls were to the wide receivers. Like, let's see what the wide receivers can do, minus Jack Besh, because none of the plays were going towards Jack Besh. It looked like they were trying to figure out exactly, can Benson be the guy or not? Or does it have to be somebody else? Because Tucker wasn't suited up. He wasn't playing. And none of the plays are, like I said, none of the plays are going towards Jack Besh. So let's see what Benson can do. And he came up short. He had like 2 or 3 drops and didn't show up. So
yeah, he had some.
He did. We got our wide receiver.
He did have a couple good plays. What was really good to see though was Naylor caught that first like 22, I think it was 22-yard shot from Mendoza, and then Mendoza he got hit. And I want to point this out, like Zuhn was going up against Clowney. Now Clowney's a vet, and you're going up against a rookie at right tackle, and people are like dogging him after that hit. But let's back up. I think it was the play before that, or maybe 2 plays before that, on the big Mike Washington run. Zuhn really held, like Clowney went up and he really sealed it off perfect, man. And I'm so glad Mike Washington has that vision, because he just cut right back into that hole, because there was a gaping hole on that right side. So I think Zuhn, as soon as Zuhn, man, I put that right in my notes. I was like, oh, hell yeah, that's how you play that tackle. Okay, defensive end wants to go upfield. When we're running the ball right in this area, I'm just going to block him, and then I'm going to stay blocked and not let him wrap back under. And so that is big from a coaching standpoint, something that you can pick out on tape for a young rookie like that. And then, yeah, you got beat later on. And, I mean, he's going to get beat. He's a rookie. So it's what you do the rest of the game, because after that, it was pretty much, I didn't hear much of anything else after that. Did you see anything after that from him or from anybody else on that matter?
Zuhn looks the part. Like, he could probably be the starter at right tackle. And Rodgers looked good. He played the majority of the game at left tackle. I didn't see any issues there. And Washington is going to be a major contributor the whole year. So I really like the way he plays. It's just going to be a matter of does Ashton Genty ever need a breather? And how many opportunities is Washington really going to get? Because I think the opportunities he does get, he'll make the most of, for sure.
Yeah, and I think there was the play, I've got it written down, I think it was the screen play too, that was really good. So we know he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can maneuver. There was, sticking with the offense, there was the whole running back position. And we had talked this whole offseason, like who's going to, or especially in the preseason, or camping leading up to preseason, who's going to be that running back 3, that RB3. And I thought Hemby was going to step up. I'm done with that experiment. It just doesn't look fast enough on tape. And then you've got Laube out there just doing his thing, man. And I'm actually happy, because I was kind of hating a little bit. I'll admit I was a little bit of a hater coming in, but I think he had some great open field. He was making guys miss tackles. He did that a couple times. He had that touchdown run too. And then the guy that came in, I can't remember the guy's name that came in. Who's the guy that came in? They just got him, number 30.
Ogo Bale or something like that. Number 32. Look. Yeah.
Speed, baby.
Look, dude. Like, I like Laube. I really do. Like, how can you not like him? Like, he's just a little scrappy dude. But I've seen this the last 2 years. Like, he plays well in the preseason, but then in the regular season, when he gets an opportunity, it's a fumble, it's a penalty, he's running the wrong way, there's some kind of problem. So, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, it's going to be up to the coaching staff, but in my opinion, I would rather go with number 32, Wallabale, whatever his name is, versus Lauby. I like Lauby. You can't not like him, but at the same time, like, I've seen this show before. You show up, you make a couple plays in the preseason, and you get on the team, and then in the regular season, you shit your pants. Like, you fumble the ball. Like, it doesn't work. So I'd just assume move on.
All right, so let's get into what everybody's tuning in for. And man, this defense, what is going on? If I had to grade it so far, it's really hard to tell because, man, people were just on the Raiders tonight about right out the gate, like, oh, the Raiders is going to suck because of the defense, blah, blah, blah. We had I think Hondo Carpenter wrote it on his piece. I think they had 3 starters, and I think they were all on offense. Played right out the gate. No defensive starters. Now, I mean, there's some guys like Stukes, which, man, that hit, bro. Woo-wee. That's what I'm talking about. That's why you're the second round pick for the Raiders. You need to come in and do some explosion like that on some people. Like, I would love for that to happen, and then he hits him so hard they drop the ball. That would be great. But this defense, if I had to rank them right now off of this performance and Rob Leonard's ability to do anything, they got an F from me, bro. I'm just saying they look lost sometimes. And I think you text me during the thing. I'll let you dive into it. But the linebacker position, my position, like, holy hell. We better not have our 2 main guys, Quay Walker and Dean, get hurt.
Yeah, it's underwhelming for sure. I thought tonight the corners, Zeke and McCoy, they played a lot better. They were in wide receivers' hip pockets, and McCoy obviously had the really stupid penalty where he's giving the thumbs down atop the guy. That was really stupid. But, yeah, the main weakness is the linebacking.
That's on the thumbnail now.
Yeah, as it should be. Like, that was stupid, man. Like, but the linebackers, they just look the second string linebackers. They just look slow. They look out of position. They don't look like they're making plays. They're not deep enough on pass plays. They're not running downhill and taking on offensive linemen and running backs in the run plays. It's not good enough. So if Walker and Dean miss a single snap this year, it's going to be a real problem, in my opinion.
Yeah, and there's oh man. I mean, I just wrote up on the defensive portion of my notes. I just said ass all around, man. Guys look lost, coverage busts everywhere. But I will say I do agree with you on the simple fact of the 2 rookies, Massis and McCoy, that we've been really hard on, and we're going to continue to be hard on these guys because, come on, man, we want them to succeed so bad, and we know that they can. And every practice, every game, every whatever, they're going to get better. We know that. And they did. They challenged some balls tonight, which was great. They did have a couple missed opportunities, I thought. But overall, I mean, there was a play up the sideline where they threw the ball and he turned inward and read the coverage, the ball coming. I don't think he saw it because he kind of looked lost when the ball came. But the fact that he turned that direction, and Raider Nation has followed corners for so long, and it's always like, man, how come our corners never turn and look? Like, and he showed that in that play, and I'm like, dude, if he can do that, if he can play sticky coverage and last second turn and look for the ball, it was a sideline throw too down the field. So he played the sideline, played the receiver, then turned to play the ball, which to me, that's like technically sound to me in every aspect. So I loved it.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, number 35, Zeke Massis. I mean, if you've watched this podcast before, you know he's my guy. Like, I love the way that dude plays. And even Sam Mills tonight, when he was like, he didn't look to that side of the field at all. He was going at McCoy. So, and I thought McCoy played really well. There was a couple plays there where I thought maybe they could have got him on PI, but I mean, man, if he just didn't have that stupid like thumbs down thing, other than that, I would have gave him an A grade for the night, because between Massis and McCoy and Stukes coming up and laying the wood a couple times, man, I thought all the rookies played really, really well. So, I mean, I feel great about going forward. It's just a matter of, are they going to play Porter as a starter? Because he got beat a couple times tonight, or were they going to put Massis in there? Like, I think personally, I might go with Massis over Porter at this point, but maybe that's the, week 3 preseason. That's what they got to figure out. We'll see.
Yeah, no, yeah, for real. They definitely have to see that. Now, they also have to get rid of that stupid celebration too, because after that penalty, I think it was Massis on the other side who defended a play. I could be wrong. He did it right after, but didn't get a penalty because he didn't do it in the guy's face. I'm like, okay, if I'm Clint Kubiak and the defensive coordinator, Rob, you better shut that shit down right now. Just go back, play the next play. Like, I don't get it. Why do you have to celebrate? It's so stupid. But anyway, moving on. Missed tackles, man. How are we not practicing this? Or are they practicing this? I understand the NFL has these stupid rules against this crap because of injuries and stuff. But are the Raiders practicing tackling at all? Like, this has me worried big time. This is like, even for second string and third string and so on, everybody should have at least, dude, you're in the NFL. You better be able to tackle. Like, come on. That first drive, they just went right down the field. I don't know how many missed tackles there were. Probably 4 or 5 on that touchdown run. Holy cow.
Yeah, totally. Woods, I think, is the Texans running back. That first drive when they went down and ran, I mean, it looked like Porter looked like a wet
Woody
piece
Marks.
of paper. Woody Marks looked like a wet piece of paper as Porter tried to tackle him. So, like, it was ugly, man. Like, come on. Like, at the very least, try to act like he's a blocking dummy or something. Try to wrap him up, but I mean, he just bounced off him. Like, I don't know, dude. If I was an NFL defensive back and I put that kind of effort on paper, I'd be embarrassed. Come on, Porter. We need better.
Yeah, man, for real. We need answers fast by week 1. That's all I got to say. You got the Dolphins. They're going to have a somewhat mobile quarterback. I don't know what the rest. I haven't even been following them this preseason one bit. But listen, if we want to come out, we need to come out the gate with that win on week 1, or it's going to be a long, long season.
For sure.
So, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't think Fernando is getting the QB1 job right now heading into that Dolphins game. I thought he was going to have ball out. I'm going to say it. They kind of did him dirty tonight, man. Why is Meredith still on this damn team? Let me ask you that. Dude, bro, there's got to be a better center at Walmart. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
He needs to go back to guard.
Meredith is, at best, he's a backup right guard. He should not be playing center in the National Football League. If Tyler Lindenbaum ever has some type of issue or he's got the flu or something and Meredith has got to start at center, we're going to be in trouble. Because I thought for sure Meredith was going to get Mendoza hurt tonight. No, he's not even good enough to be a backup in the league. The one play where clearly Meredith went the wrong way and it got Mendoza in heat early. So Meredith needs to go away. If it were me and I were John Spytek, I'd probably just leave Meredith on the tarmac in Houston. I'd fly back to Vegas. I'd just leave him there. We'll find somebody else. We'll walk down the strip. We'll find the first 300-pound dude. We'll make him the backup center. We don't need Jordan Meredith at all.
Yeah, and every game there's a guy where I'm like, oh, that dude's badass, and then the next game he's trash. Like, we're talking about like the rookies and stuff like that. And one guy who has absolutely just disappeared. He played a Houdini trick or something after he was drafted. I do not know what is going on with Crawford. I've not seen him. I don't know what it is. Are they playing him out of position? Is it because he doesn't have? Is it because he's so raw talent wise, that he just is not there, and it's going to take another season? I mean, he's not no Tyree Wilson, where we drafted him in the first round, so there's that luxury. But still, I mean, I had huge high hopes for this guy. I thought he was going to be a dog. So what have you seen from him? If you've seen anything, or you agree with me on that Houdini trick?
He played a lot tonight, and I'll say on the rundowns, I mean, he's a threat, right? He's got the first step. He explodes off the line of scrimmage. The problem is when the other team runs at him. There was a couple downs tonight where they ran directly at him, and dude got basically put on his back. He was on skates moving 10 yards back. So he's got to get bigger and stronger at the point of attack. And whether it's just a tackle, or it's a tackle and a tight end, or I mean, whatever is going on, I mean, he's got to hold up the point there, and he's got to set the edge. And there was a couple times tonight, like I said, where he got put on skates, and forget setting the edge. He was 10 yards. I mean, he was back by Stukes. He was back by playing by the safety. It's not good enough. In the National Football League, you can't be getting pushed to back off the line of scrimmage like that, dude. So if you're going to play defensive end in the National Football League or outside linebacker, you got to hold up the point of attack better than that. So he's got some work to do for sure.
Yeah, so I've got some guys that I want to point out, because 63, I can't say his name. He's got a bunch of letters. We just signed him for defensive tackle, man. Dude, he first game out, first time with the Raiders, really? He was making an impact, man, when he was out there. I saw some really good plays from him on that interior defensive line.
Yep. Big boy eating up offensive linemen. I mean, that's what you want your D tackles to do. Keep two offensive linemen occupied so your linebackers can run around and make plays. That's what you need your D tackles to do.
So when I coached high school football, and I coached defense, linebackers, okay, in Florida for a very good team, one thing we practiced almost daily in practice, pretty much every day, was getting on top of the football. Okay. You have what's called a country ball, and you have what's called a city ball. A city ball, you fall on top of the damn ball because you're in a city, you're in a crowded area. Okay. You fall on it, you get it, it's our ball. If it's a city, or if it's country ball, it's out in the country, wide open space, you scoop and score that bad boy. Right? Now, I want to talk about one of my favorite players that's really unheard of. Somebody said something online earlier that I'm just not even going to, they were talking bad about him, but whatever. I don't care. Patrick Johnson, man, 93. I think he's a rising dude for the Raiders at that end spot. Well, he's like in the three, he's like the 3-4. He's like a defensive end in a 3-4, I believe. I could be wrong. I think he might have played some in the 4-3, might have played defensive end too. But anyway, late in the game, he was at the beginning, from the jump, he was moving all over the place. That dude was flying around. He was getting pressure in. Just guys behind him were making mistakes. And then he had the sack. And then the reason I talk about city ball, country ball, is because he gets the strip sack, and Sloan, who I love, goes to fall on it like it's a city ball, and it just squirts right through him. That's another Raider issue. Like it's like the worst luck. Like, we drop interceptions, we can't get fumbles. It's just like, and they're always like right there. Easy picks, easy fumble recoveries. Now, granted, it turned out to be a fourth down. They punted to us, but we would have had it ball closer. I think around the 30 or 25 or 30 yard line. But 93, man, I'm loving him. He is my biggest riser right now on the Raiders, because of the simple fact that we already knew Washington's going to be a stud, man. I mean, after we saw they were talking about him in camp and practices and stuff like that. After we saw him last week, I told you, I said, let's shut him down. I'm not. He should not play next game.
Yep.
It's him and Genty, baby. Let's go all day long.
Yep.
What did you see from 93? If you saw anything,
93. I mean, for sure, he looks like a dude. Like when I watch him with my eye, he's not the type of guy that jumps off the paper, right? He jumps off the screen. Like he doesn't have the amazing first step. He doesn't look extremely quick. He doesn't look like he overpowers guys, but he's just one of them dudes that just makes plays. Like he's just around the ball. He's just around the quarterback. And, you know, when he got to the quarterback tonight, it wasn't just a sack. It was a strip sack. You know, the little differences, those are the things in the National Football League that make the difference between winning and losing. So, I mean, in my opinion, yeah, he's done enough to make the team and be a reserve and, you know what, probably get some playing time. So, he's done more than Crawford. He's done more than, I mean, Kuntz played some tonight and he didn't do a damn thing. Like he ran around a little bit, but I mean, he didn't make any plays. So, I mean, regardless of if you're playing against the second team guys or the third team guys, whatever, did you make some plays? Did you make some impact on the game? And he did. So I'll give him credit for that.
Man, before we end this episode tonight, one area I got to talk about is special teams. Who is running that squad? You got guys illegal touching it on a badass punt from AJ Cole down to like the 5-yard line, and there's like I put down here 5 guys. I don't know if that was how many guys. It was like 5+ dudes down there for the Raiders, and the one guy that touches it is the guy who ran out of bounds. Like, dude, come on. You got to teach these guys right. What is going on? And then we got this kicking battle. What are we doing? Why do we have a kicking battle? The kicking battle was done after a long time ago. I loved the story. I really thought that the Tokyo Toe was going to be a thing. Bro, you cannot miss an extra point like that.
Yep. And he missed 2 of them. He missed 2 extra points tonight, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, the Tokyo Toy, he's out of here. I don't feel great about Matt Gay either. I would, like I said, I would hashtag call Carlson, get his ass back in here, pay him what we got to pay him. I mean, you can't have issues in the kicking game like that. So let's just do what we got to do and go from there. But yeah, dude, I mean, you can't have stupid penalties on special teams, especially, you know, punts. You pin a team deep inside the 5 and then you have a stupid penalty, you give it back out to the 20. Like that's just, you can't have that anymore. If you want to be a good football team, you can't have penalties like that. I don't mind the aggressive penalties. I don't even mind a lot of the personal fouls, but the procedure penalties and, you know, the holdings and blocking in the back, that's just stupid shit. That's just guys not being disciplined. We can't have that. If you're going to be a good football team, you can't have stupid ass penalties like that.
And it just seems like that's such the Raider way. We just cannot get out of that. I just don't get it.
No.
It's just part of us. So 2 last points before we get out of here. I want to note 2 guys. One guy that I have not been high on at all, and that's been McCollum. And I want to point out I think it was the first drive of the game. It was early, so I'm trying to remember this. He had that tackle for loss where he came off the edge on the blitz. I think the guy was supposed to block him, but the guy was looking inside, and he just ran right through him. He was still getting blocked, but still dove and made that tackle. That was pretty sweet. I love seeing that aggressiveness. We need more of that. And then Stooks, talking about Stooks, yeah, he had the big hit, but later on, did you see him read? It was like to the flat, and the quarterback threw it, and man, he shot like a bullet and made that awesome open field tackle. Yeah. So those are, and then he had the 4th down hit or the 3rd down hit to make it 4th down, which was great. So those are 2 guys. Huge shout out to both of those guys for those. Any other takeaways from you, Greg, before we get out of here?
Nah, I don't know. I just think if Coach Kubiak happens to see this, just know that Dylan Laube, I love that dude. Like, I love his effort and his scrappiness. But like I said, I've seen this script before. Like, he's done this the last 2 preseasons, but then in the regular season, he gets an opportunity and he pisses it down his leg. So I would rather keep, Ogunlie or Gabale or whatever his name is, number 32. He just looks like the more complete football player that can give you more as far as kick returns, punt returns, special teams contribution. Like Dylan Laube, he's not that guy. So just cut ties, move on. He's a cool story. He's a good player. But he's never going to play in front of Ashton Genty. He's never going to play in front of Mike Washington Jr. In my opinion, he doesn't have a spot on the team. Keep Ogunlie and move on.
Yeah, for sure. Look, it's preseason, baby, and I get that. But we asked this team to prove something tonight. The offense, some good things, some growing pains, but the foundation is there. Mendoza had his shot. I don't think he had enough to take the job from Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is that guy heading into week 1. But the defense, man, that's the real problem right now. You've got to figure it out and figure it out fast because you can't win in this league playing like that. We'll keep breaking it down for you every week right here on the Clueless Sports Dad. Smash that like button, subscribe, and join the CSD Nation. We'll see you next time, Raider Nation. We are out. Thanks, Greg.
Later.